Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Hyphy and I'm back again with a different challenge for myself. I'm gonna be attempting to make this Drake landed song that just came out, a remake of the instrumental. But I'm not gonna be making exactly the same thing so that you won't get copyright strike. But I'm gonna be using the flow and whatever to just mix it or whatever it comes from my head. So if you're here just to download the instrumental, check the description link below to download the instrumental. If you want to download the track stem of the instrumental, you have to be a subscriber on my website. So this is what I just made. Make sure you watch from beginning to the end to get every single detail. Don't skip anything. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing is like this omnisphere radio tone melody, and this is how it sounds. Let me drop the pitch. So the first thing I did to it was like put in the flanger to make it more to make it shakier, like a voice that is like shaking realistic. The stereo enhancer makes it like separate the sound into left and right, and the equalizer cut off the low ends, and the reverb to like give it more space, and the pancake to make it alternate from my left ear to my right here when I'm pressing it, like going from here to here. So the second sound I used a backward piano from like Omnisphere. I don't know if that's the name from default settings, but I saved it as a backward piano for one of my songs. So this is what I did to that. Parametric to cut off the low end, and the flanger to make it shakier, and the Fabfilter just to give him like space, reverb. So I linked this main sound and the first Omnisphere and the second Omnisphere. I linked it to this 36 track right here. I'm gonna show you what that does in a bit. So the next melody I'm gonna be plugin I'm gonna be using is this. So it's just like a default plugin from FL Studio, whatever. Then the next thing I used I'm gonna be using, because I've not made a beat yet, is the expand. This expand is just like a synthesizer, polysynth, standard bend poly. So what I did for the mix was put it on 33. So I put some retro color to make it like sound old school, just like that. And then I put some glitch just to alternate it and make it more disturbing, because the beat from Drake was actually like not straightforward, like shaking, doing all the kind of thing you can imagine. So I put a Fabfilter just to tune the sound to make it more pleasant to hear in that particular frequency, because it was like disturbing me. So the next thing I did was the Omnisphere here, and the sound for that was like backward piano again. So this time I did a different mix for the backward piano. I put a gross beat. Shit, this is not what I meant to do. So this right here is gonna be empty, and this right here is gonna be the real thing. So I put a gross beat to make it alternate like this. So let me quickly get rid of that, because every time I press my MIDI keyboard, it's gonna change my gross beat settings. Okay, good. So I put the delay so that when I freeze, it's gonna drag, because the beat was dragging from Drake. And I used another reverb to give it more space and realism. The next thing I did is these claps. Okay, that's what I did for the melody, and I linked every of the melody. I linked it to one track stem, which is the 36 that I said I was going to explain. So I put a gross beat to like make it ascend, just like Drake had that kind of movement in his beat. So to make the volume ascend, periodically. And I put a multi-band compressor just to fine-tune the sound in a particular frequency that was shooting out more than the other sounds to balance it out. And the side widener, just to like widen the sound, just like the name goes. And the next thing is the drums. What I did for the drums, I used this snare. I used my drum rack, but I actually replaced this snare from the drum rack, which is a Young Chop snare that I got from a free pack. And the kick was just like one of the kicks I got from all those free tutorials online. And this right here is just a stick, house jam, rim stick, blah blah. And the hat, basic closed hat, no mixing because the sound was very dry from the actual song Drake did. So I cut off the low end just to make the mix cleaner. And the 808 that I use, it's probably stronger than the actual 808, so it's quad balling 808. I can't remember where I got it from, probably from Mr. Difference. I watch a lot of Mr. Difference tutorial to get. So this is what I did for that. Did my own settings, distortion, Saturn. I put distortion default, FL Studio distortion, and then the quad balling. Sorry, my Fabfilter Saturn, and I have a preset for that I call squad balling, and I use this equalizer just to, because every time you put a distortion in your 808, it's gonna have a lot of high end sounds. So I cut off the high end sounds and give it a little bit of boost on the low ends and make it sharper to sting on the low end. So that's what I did for the sound, and right now I'm going into the drums. It was basic. Drake's beats nowadays mostly focus on his lyrics and bounce. You know what? I'm just gonna use my drum pad to make things faster. So it should loop here. So I'm gonna loop that just right. So the next thing is Right now I'm just duplicating the patterns to make it longer. I'm gonna be making the melody just right after this, because I think I've used up all my drums. Which one haven't I used? I've used this, yeah. So I need to alternate a particular pattern. So I'm gonna be adding something to this, like so to make that make sense, I'm going to be removing everything that should sound there, just to make it like. No, let me leave this. So I'm gonna be removing that one, this one. Yeah, that makes sense right there. So I'm gonna drop another air edge here. So I'm done with the drums. I'm gonna be making melody based on C# minor, and this is what I'm gonna be using. So drag this to the main melody, and drag this here. So this is what I'm doing. Man, I hate it when my PC does that. You know what? I'm gonna just start spreading things out. So these drums, you just come here, right? And you just start splitting. Split into channels. And you just start arranging. So melodies, first melodies, loop this, and I'm gonna drop it here. Can you stop hanging, please? Oh my goodness. I think there's an error with my FL Studio. Can I slide this thing? So I'm gonna boost this volume. So this one I'm gonna be making some changes to my own melody. This right here, I'm going to copy everything down here, just do some changes. Okay, let me put this ones too. Do some changes, drop it on the expand. Okay, I don't know where that is. want to solo this right here to me. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. You see, when you get your sounds right, it will give you more ability to be creative, to do things that you wouldn't normally do if you didn't get your sound right. I've gotten my mix and my sound right. So this is what I'm gonna do right here. I feel like it's too heavy. So I think the beat is done. Let me just hear it. So basically there you have it.